Hey guys, so I'm about to do some car sessions. I'm gonna film a few of my episodes on my very long ride home from Vegas to Ridgecrest. So I figure since I'm doing a car sesh, let me show you the cars. Okay, so this one you've seen. I think I did a wrap-up video from the Cinco de Mayo show while driving this guy. Me and Marky did a few videos with the top-down WrestleMania weekend in this guy, my little bitch basket. This is the one I wish I was driving on a daily. This is the Santa Cruz that I made my partner Alex get, and I do mean that sincerely. I was like, oh my god, if you're gonna get a car, you should get this one because it's got, like, you know, a bed and we like to do outdoorsy stuff. And he was like, oh, okay. But no, we love it and we're probably gonna purchase it at the end of the lease. But that's his car, not mine. So I only drive it when we're together. Otherwise, I drive the old 2001. Look at, with the scraped wheels and the trim coming off and the roof is all, I mean, it still works, but so yeah, I'm about to hop in this car. We're gonna drive home. It's a 4-hour drive. A lot to talk about. The name of my channel changed. I don't know if anybody really noticed that, but I'm not calling the episodes Wrestling with Boys anymore. So I'm gonna discuss that. Discuss the Spladle name change. We're also gonna talk about AEW FanFest for Double or Nothing. And we're gonna talk about Double or Nothing because we were just there. Woo! He's so, like, whatever. Alright, see you guys in a bit. What's up, guys? How are ya? Oh, me? I'm good. Just left Double or Nothing 2023 Las Vegas. Hey. Now I'm driving home, and to do so, we are driving around the northern tip of Death Valley because it avoids all the traffic on the major highways and puts us right out in our little desert town. So it works out. I'm driving my car. Alex is following me in his truck. I came up to Vegas before him to spend some time with my mom, and then he met us after he was able to get off of work. But yeah, part one of the 3-part Spladle car session. Since I have all this time to drive, I figure I could talk about a few things. The first of which, this episode 1 of the car sessions, isn't so much wrestling related. I'm going to do something that I don't generally like doing. Sorry, my car's squeaky. I gave you a tour of it. It's old. It's old. Anyway, I'm going to take this episode as an opportunity to talk about myself and to talk about this channel. Because, you know, I'm a little grassroots channel trying to pick up some steam, and I'm sure there's some people out there thinking, why do I want to listen to this nobody talk about wrestling? It is true, I am a nobody. I'm not associated with wrestling in any professional capacity. I am just a fan, like many of you. I've been watching wrestling since I was a child, and I took a little break away from it, not very much, just a few years off from it when I was in the military, and then I got back into it during the pandemic because we all had time, didn't we? So yeah, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about me, let's talk about this channel, and we'll move on from there. So my name is Derek Stone. I have a last name, but I'm not giving it to you. I am a Navy veteran. I served in the U.S. Navy for 14 years. I wanted to go career, but I had a very political career. I was an openly gay sailor back when that wasn't allowed. Back when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was still a thing. Some of you might remember during the Obama administration, Barack himself said he wanted to remove Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And at that point, I had already served for 7 years. I was already halfway through my career. And somebody said, oh, snap, they're going to get rid of the policy. Let's kick him out while we still can. Haters going to hate. And you know what? He was a devout, married Christian person with a bunch of kids, too. Thought he was doing the Lord's work, I guess. Decided to collect a bunch of evidence from my social media, and he submitted that to my chain of command and said, look, this guy's gay. Get him out of the military. Even though at that point I was already bomb.com. Everybody loved me. I was doing my job and doing it well. But anyway, my CEO at the time didn't know that he had the authority to choose to pursue it or not. He thought that if he was presented with hard evidence and that if somebody complained, that he had to pursue administrative action. So he turned this evidence of the statement up from the senior enlisted person to Navy Legal. And Navy Legal said, oh, this applies to the rules. We have to kick this young man out of the Navy. However, the other side of Navy Legal, Navy JAG, the Judge Advocate's office, said, well, we are obligated to provide him representation if he wants to fight this, which I did. So the local Navy JAG office kind of became my lawyers. They were all young, gorgeous, educated officers. I don't think a single one of them was like over the age of like 32. And they were like me. They were like, this is kind of BS. So they put up a hell of a fight. And I was even in some of the news. I did some radio interviews. An activist organization did a press release on my behalf. And that kind of drew the eye to my case. And I do believe, I don't know if this is official, but I do believe I was the very last sailor brought up on Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, separation charges or whatever. We went to board, which was like a court, and they determined that there wasn't enough evidence to kick me out. There was. I just think they didn't want to, or they saw how much media attention the story was getting, and they didn't want to be painted out as the bad guys, even though none of their identities were ever going to be released to the public. But yeah, so halfway through my career, they tried to kick me out for being gay, and it failed. And as you can imagine, that kind of followed me for the rest of my career. Yeah, so I continued to do great work from that moment on, but I struggled to put on rank. And when you don't get to a certain rank by a certain time, they say, hey, we gotta clear the pool here. We gotta make room for new people. So we need you to leave. And I'm like, oh, but I don't want to leave. And they're like, well, you kind of have to leave. But here, take this briefcase full of cash and take these benefits so it doesn't hurt so much. Bye. And that's what happened. And that's okay, because I took some time off. I started my advanced education. I went to a few different colleges, and then I sought out work after the pandemic, and I landed a federal job, still working for the Navy. And all the time I put in when I was active duty attaches to my federal time, so I'm still gonna retire on track. I'm still gonna go out there and pay the bills. So in the end, you know, it worked out. It does give me a unique perspective on things, having traveled with the military, having lived military life. Yeah, so that does occupy a large caveat of who I am. I joined the military when I was 17. It definitely molded me as a person. And it's funny because some people might say, you know, oh, you're so gay, you're so flamboyant, maybe you should tone that down. And then I tell them, no, if the military taught me anything, it's, you know, stand up for myself. I'm not going to let somebody punk me and tell me I need to behave a certain way. No, you guys gave me the skills I need to be who I am and defend myself while doing it, you know, defend myself and defend others. So, yeah, that's that. I have a whole bunch of different interests. I love comic books, and I am currently writing a comic book. It's taking a very, very long time because I can write, but I cannot draw. So I have to hire artists to draw for me. But I'm not, you know, a skis. I'm not over here trying to lowball artists and trying to like bamboozle them with, oh, give me some free artwork and I'll give you some exposure. BS. No, no, no. I believe in paying artists what they are deserved. And I'm paying for licensed material. I'm paying for material that I want to own. That stuff costs money. It costs a good chunk of money. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. But that also means I have to pay for it out of my own pocket. Capital's hard to find these days. I'm only, you know, a year into this job. Before that, I was a student for a couple years, and then we had the pandemic. So I do have a comic book coming. I have a series of comic books that I would like the one comic book to become. Just different kinds of stories, superhero stories, sci-fi stories, adventure stories, all from queer or underrepresented perspectives. That has nothing to do with this channel, but like I said, I'm just telling you guys about myself. Another interest, I love video games. I play tons of video games. I play Fortnite because I'm a child like that. Got this new Diablo coming out. I'm ready for her. She's gonna be good. I still mess with my not Fast and Furious. I do like Fast and Furious though, but I mess with my Need for Speeds. We got Mortal Kombat coming out. Mortal Kombat 1. Y'all seen that trailer? That looks good. I love movies. I love corny movies. I love deep thought intellectual movies. I love indie movies. I love foreign movies. I like movies. I like them. Anything episodic, and I am there. If we have an episodic series or an episodic franchise of movies, I'm probably gonna love it. I love long-term storytelling. AEW. What else do I like? I like cars. I like cars a lot. Ever since I was a child, both my parents are into cars. My mom could look at an old classic car and tell you what year it was. You know, my stepdad liked to build or restore classic cars. So I've always appreciated cars, and I've had a number of fun cars. Not so much anymore. I'm working on that though. I do car rallies. If you've ever seen the movie Cannonball Run, it's a lot like that. It is. I know Cannonball Run seems like a comedy, but the circles I run with are just as goofy and silly. Because I spend a lot of time in San Diego, in Los Angeles, all throughout Southern California, I've been exposed to what I think is the best car scene in the country. People can argue me on that. They're wrong, but they can argue me on that. I've worked in the best car industry in Southern California. I've been exposed to cars people can only dream of. You know, I'm driving my first Lamborghini, you guys. It's such a big deal for me. It's a dream car. My office for today. My office for today. Hey. The Italian countryside. I'm not used to driving on this side of the road though. Haven't we been here before? Not me on the new Countach. What is it? 3 mil? 3 mil? Fresh from Monterey. I think there's like 2 in the United States right now. What? She's cute. I'd keep her around. Okay, bye. Love it all. This was a necessity. I needed a car because me and Alex were sharing a car when I was going to school in LA. And when I got this job out in the desert, I needed something of my own to get around. So I bought this little beater because it was the cutest, gayest little beater on the internet. Why not? And that kind of segues into my channel here on YouTube. I used to call the channel Wrestling with Boys. And the reason why I did that was because many years ago, I decided to join Instagram, not as a private channel about myself or profile, but as a public profile showcasing all the amazing cars that I'm exposed to on a regular basis. So I named that channel or profile Riding with Boys, which is still my Instagram. Riding with Boys. All cars. Sometimes I put hot models in front of the cars because I figure we don't get enough of sexy male objectification. So when I created this YouTube channel, I wanted to play off of my Instagram so I named this one Wrestling with Boys. But the more I thought about it, the more immature I thought that sounded. I wanted something shorter to say, something a little tongue-in-cheek, something a little funny. So I named it the Spladle. For those of you who don't know, the Spladle is a wrestling move. It is not a wrestling move I think I've ever seen utilized in pro entertainment wrestling. It is primarily used in high school, college, Olympic level wrestling, the real stuff. But it's as effective as a move as it is a funny looking move, and it's kind of a sexy looking move. Exhibit A. Yeah. So I decided, I'm going to name my channel that. The people who know, they'll probably chuckle at it. Now you guys know, so maybe you'll get a chuckle out of it. But yeah, so now we've talked about me, let's talk about the channel. I was looking for a queer podcast or vlog to follow from a gay man's perspective about pro wrestling. What I found was great, but it didn't necessarily provide what I was looking for. We have Out in the Ring from Out Magazine. There's the Bells of the Ring. There's a lot. There's a lot of queer wrestling podcasts and blogs out there. But they seemed more journalistic. They seemed more sterile. Especially Out Magazine, because they are a magazine. They are looking for that journalistic angle. They're getting talent on their podcast monthly, and they're doing proper interviews with them. Whereas I was looking for somebody to go up on my screen and be like, ooh, did you see what so-and-so did in the ring on Thursday? That's what I was looking for. I was looking for that gossip column kikiness, like, let's get together and let's just ham it up about what we saw over the week. And since I didn't see what I was looking for out there, I said, okay, I'm gonna make it. I don't know if I'm the person that people want to have these little kiki gossip sessions with, but I'm the only one doing it right now, and hopefully nobody comes along, steals my idea, and does it better. But if you see a void, fill it. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. But yeah, so that's the premise for why I did my show, or started my channel. What I'd like to do is eventually make it sort of a podcast / vlog. Right now it's just a vlog because the only equipment I have is my cell phone and CapCut editing software. But eventually I'd like to get a solid microphone, a solid little setup in my space at home, and do podcasts. That way I can have a conversation with people remotely. I can record it, and then I could make it available for people to listen to. And I can still post the video of said sessions on YouTube. Because all I'm doing right now are just videos, I am trying to edit in highlights when I have them, or pictures when I can. That way it makes it worthwhile to watch. You're not just staring at me as I speak, you actually get some visuals. Eventually, if this picks up some steam, I would love to hire some independent wrestlers. And like I said, just come up on the vlog and kiki. You know, I'm not trying to do, I'm going to do interview questions, but I'm not trying to do like, you know, can I get a quote for the Daily Times? No, I'm more like, who in the locker room is the person you cut up most with? Like, you know, I want to get to know these people on like bestie level. Like, hey bestie. Not on professional level. There's plenty of that out there. Also, I don't want to be one of those sources where I dropped the latest news. Nah. There's plenty of people doing it way better than I ever could. I'd rather be the person say, hey, did you hear the news? Let's gossip about it. You know, like, that's what I want to do. Marky is great. He's fantastic. He's one of my besties. The whole time I spent in New York, outside of Alex, my own partner, I feel like Marky's the only other person I really hung out with. And I wanted him as a guest for my WrestleMania excursion, and that ended up being like 5-6 videos long, and we still have more we're going to be doing together. So he kind of became like a staple of my channel, and I didn't want anybody to think that this channel was ours, because he's doing his own thing. Definitely check him out. He's all over, and he's doing a lot of cool stuff that I never would have even thought of doing. But we got some traffic. Everybody trying to get to the... Get out of my way. Go on, shoot. Woo! Okay, we're good. Traffic's done. But, you know, because Marky is so busy doing his own thing, I can't have him on the show weekly, which I'm very loosely weekly now, but I intend on being solidly weekly once I get into the groove of my editing. Once I can watch my shows on a regular basis. I can't do that right now. We have internet issues at home, so if I'm lucky to catch Rampage or Dynamite, and now we're gonna have Collision. You know, if I'm lucky to catch it, then I'll talk about it, but I don't have a consistent means of doing so at the moment. We're working on it. It's a fiasco. Don't live in the middle of the desert, people. It's not fun. But yeah, so that's the formula for the show. You know, watch the weekly shows, talk about the weekly shows, do some special trips, maybe go to some live shows, do some roundup videos, do some highlights. I'm here, I'm queer, I want more queer stuff out there. They didn't have what I was looking for, so I decided to make it myself. And that's it. That's me. That's this channel. I definitely like engagement. I'm gonna be taking some of my longer videos and trimming them down into like short, like reels or TikToks or stories, because I'd like to ask like questions of people and I want to get their opinions. I love it. I love talking and getting opinions and stuff like that. So just stay tuned, guys. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you can stick through these first messy couple of months, because we'll get into a groove. I promise we will. But thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I hope you guys feel like hitting that subscribe button. I really do. But I'm Derek Stone, and this is the Splay-Doh Car Sessions, Episode 1. See you guys in the next thumbnail, where we talk about AEW Double or Nothing Fan Fest at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Bye, guys.